Good morning and welcome to another walkthrough. We are in Cheshunt today and going to see how we go time wise. Largely to start with, we're in sort of residential areas. This house here on the right hand side, not with the skip, the next one is where I used to live when I was up to 4 years old. But yeah, largely to start with, it's going to be residential walking and until we get to the old pond, and then there'll be some shops which I'll show you and what have you. Show you my old school, or schools, plural, depending on what we can see, what we can't see. Then we'll go from there. I've bought the drone, I might take that up, but not around here. Maybe down in Broxbourne, but I'll just see how we're going for time. As you can see, I've got Azra with me today as well. So yeah, I mean, I was here till I was 4 years old. So, although I remember it, I more remember it now through coming back over the years, as opposed to sort of in a year sort of living down here as such. As I say, the beginning of this is mostly residential, so there's not going to be loads and loads to talk about, largely because there isn't much to talk about. It's a shame Julia hasn't been able to come today. It's far too early for her to be up, because she lived here a lot longer than I did. Cheshunt is massive and it's sort of divided by the A10, and Julia lived on the other side of the A10, so not really sort of living on this side ever, although she worked in the old pond, and that's where she was working when we first met. But yeah, largely her life was the other side, even her school was the other side. Well, my senior school was the other side of the A10 as well. I think we're going to go this way. I don't think there's too much that way, although I could have gone that way. Not much that way to see. I'm hoping, got a little bit of a breeze today, but nothing major. I'm hoping nothing that's really going to affect the camera, because I didn't bring my microphones today. And the good thing about doing this, as I've said before when I've done these videos, is, just bear with me, Azra's just doing her stuff. Right, sorry about that, we're back. So that's quite good. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Azra getting that out of the way early doors really helps. Really helps. Not a lot changes in these places. To be honest. Now we're going to go down here because I think we can cut round the back of all the shops. know if we can get round. After, here, you go. So you used to be able to get down the alley and cut through, which you now can't. So, pain in the arse, I'll have to go around the other way. I don't know what the necessity for that was, really, because all it did was cut through some garages to get to the high street, so bit of a shame. Anyway, helps the steps. Fairly sure there isn't a walkway that way to get through. I'm not even going to bother going and have a look. I don't think there will be. It's not too bad anyway, really. It's just the next road up. So now I do understand probably why they've done that gate, because I know, not that I've used it for years, but back in the day when we used to come down here with Mum, we used to park down there, free parking, always parking down there, and there was a cut through. So I get why they've done that actually, because it just stops people doing it, or it may not stop them doing it, but it's more of an inconvenience, because you then got to do what I'm doing, walking up and around. Yeah. Okay, so the next road along is where we'll go. If I come across a bin, that'd be handy too. few houses up for sale around here. All the same agent, it looks like. I'm sure there must be more than one agent. And if I imagine another one up here, different agent, and it says sold. Quite a narrow path down here. I remember this road from back in the days. It's being very narrow, very tight. I don't think it's, well no, it must be a one-way road. Though I didn't say it at the other end. No, I think that's where there's garages, if I've been able to get through. Yeah, see, it fenced it off down there as well. Yeah, they have. So I get it that they've done that. Stop people parking around the other side. Just another way of making sure people pay, innit? I guess. Okay, so we're now coming to the high street. I mean, this over the years has vastly changed to what it was. A few more cars and vans around now, which is a shame. I'm just going to go very quickly. Now, Julia and me were having a conversation the other day as to whether Wimpy was still there. Well, it still is, Julia, so I stand corrected. Come on, this way. Come on, good girl. Come this way. So yeah, this is now the old pond. Tesco's across there. That always has been there, that Tesco's. But there used to be another Tesco's around the corner to the left. It used to be sort of the Home and Wear, which went many years ago, because you've got the massive Tesco's up at Brookfield now. But it used to be in sort of this whole parade of shops, which now is obviously many other shops. And we're going to try and cross here as it's quiet. Come on, Ezra. The old pond there. Good girl, let's go. Lots of other shops up here as well. Good girl. So yeah, now we're back onto the path. Over there, we've got the favourite chicken in the corner there. Where that brown car's just coming from is where the train station is. You go down there to the train station. Windmill Lane, where I used to go sailing when I was a kid as well. I used to hate it. Did it because my brothers did it, not because I wanted to do it. So we're sort of coming now out the old pond, and the only reason I'm coming this way, and I hope I don't live to regret it by getting lost somewhere, well I know I won't get lost, but it's just how quickly I can cut back round, is because I show you my old school. Also we're going to go past a police station on the left hand side in a minute, the main one here in Cheshunt. On the left here. Now I think I can come up here to cut round. I think I saw this when I was looking at the route. Annoyingly, I'm sure there must have been a bin around there, and I didn't dump the bloody Azure stuff. Annoyingly. Anyway, don't matter. Not causing that much of a problem. actually have no idea where I'm going to come out. I've got a general idea. I think I could have gone the same way as that chap was going, and that would have cut the corner even more, but doesn't matter. Come on, Ezra. Good exercise for us both. So I think I've got my bearings again. I think this may have been here or around here, probably was in there, where I used to go to nursery school. I'm pretty 95% sure of that, because once you get off this road, you'll be the back of my old infant school. Which is there. One time, I don't know whether you still can get picked up from this entrance. Not sure you can. No, you can't. But you used to be able to be picked up from there. That was where Mum used to pick us up from. Used to wait there, was it? Or at least wait by the gate. Might have to park further away. So I know exactly where we are now. So I have to sort of cut a corner, but not really. So when we get to the top there, this will be Blind Man's Lane, which is where my old school used to be. Then we get back up onto College Road, and then we'll be back at the car. So we're doing pretty well. I don't actually know what the time is, I reckon. Have a quick look. Earlier than I thought. 6 o'clock. So we will have plenty of time to go and get the drone. But I need to go and get some fuel for the car first. And a couple of things I need to do. If I can and the camera behaves, I'll put the camera in the screen of the car, and maybe you can watch some driving of the other side of Cheshunt as well as part of this little vlog. I still haven't seen a bin. It's unbelievable. It's going to have to be one by the schools, surely. Okay, so we are now at my old school. This used to be called Burley. That has not changed one bit. It still is called Burley, but I think the difference is now is that they're both combined. So the infant school, which is a bit further up on the left, used to be called Grangewood. Now I don't know, I need to have a look in a minute, but I think from what I've been told, they are all one now. So it's like I suppose a year, I don't know what they are now. Is there such a thing as year 2 or year 3? I suppose there must be. Infant school level. Is the next school, which you'll see in a minute. Again, it is just amazing how nothing has changed, and it is all now Burley. Yeah, nothing has changed. Quite incredible. Oh, and there's some bins, thank the Lord. Yep, all Burley. Well, that's been nice walking back past those and seeing that in 35-40 years, not a lot's changed. Not a lot's changed. Now we're gonna cross over, so we're on the on the right side. So these must all be nurseries now, so it's all in a line. So from the time your child, I suppose, is at nursery school now, to the time they get to the year 7, all in the same place. I think that's pretty good actually. Probably would have been more safer to park down here than where I parked. I'm sure I'll be alright when I get back there, but I was a bit worried. We'll see. So we're coming to the end of Blind Man's Lane, coming up, as I say, to College Road, and then it is just a short walk back to Elgin Road, as I say, where I used to live as a kid, or for a few years anyway, before we moved to Broxville. If you've watched the Broxville vlog, you'll have seen I dared to go up there and have a quick look. It's completely changed, and that's the complete flip to what I've just seen. Now where I used to live in Broxville, it's completely changed. Down here, nothing has changed one bit. And I mean that, yeah, you might have shops that have changed, but the layout is exactly the same. First car I've seen this morning, coming the other way. That's impressive. That's really helped with not having to duck and dive. I've seen no dog walkers. It's been bliss from that point of view, and also a nice walk up memory lane as well. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. Not quite as excited about doing this one as I was the Broxville one. Purely and simply, because Broxville, as I said before, is where I grew up for many years. I knew the area far better than I know around here. But I think I've given you a little bit of a taster. So I'm going to try and attach the camera so I can do a bit of a drive. As well. So we go get to the momentary, make sure the car's alright. Which it certainly appears to be, thank God. Right guys, we'll reconvene shortly. Okay, so we are now leaving Elgin Road, coming up to the A10. Some would call it still the Great Cambridge Road, but it is the A10. So when we came from that direction, which is going north towards Royston. Obviously we're going to go across, but if you go left here, it takes you into London. On the right hand side here, got the Crocodile pub, been there a few times. It's okay, it's not the best. Mum's old school, which used to be called Bishopsley, I think this is now Cheshunt School. I may be wrong on that, but that was Mum's old school in there. Yeah, I think that's Cheshunt School, and I think Julie's old school, which was St Mary's, has moved on to the Lieutenant Ellis Way. Here we have the local town hall, the council offices. In there, been to a couple of sort of registry office weddings there over the years. On the left is where I used to go to Cubs and the church. I'm not sure how much of this is coming out because the camera's obviously fairly static, but just giving you some points of reference. So when we get to this mini roundabout up here, I'm not going to go down there because we've been down there before, and if you look at some of my shorts, I think it is, there's one of Goth School, which is my old school that I used to go to, so we're going to go straight on. Many years ago, just over the next mini roundabout, used to be a lollipop lady called Rosie who we used to see every morning. We were driving, by the way, so it's not as if she was helping us cross the road or anything like that, but over the years, as a family, got very friendly with their family, and it was her that got Mum and Dad into going to Kenya, which then in turn, I guess, got me to take Julie there for our honeymoon. So we're now in Flamstead End. Julie used to work at this petrol station on the left, which appears to be shut because it's got a tanker. On the right hand side here, just after the dentist there, is where Julia's grandparents used to live. Doesn't look anything like it used to look now. It did need modernising, I think they would admit that, the family. Little Tesco's Express there. So I'm going up Brookfield Lane now, and the reason I'm coming up here, and I've come this way, is because I'm desperate to get some fuel. So that's the single most reason I've had to come this way. Well, that's quite nice sort of seeing that part of Cheshunt. You know, again, there's more to see with residential areas, but residential area pretty much is the same as anywhere else, isn't it? So there's no point showing you that. I just think it's quite nice being able to bring you along for the drive, show you and talk to you about a few things as we go. If anything else sort of crops up on my way, I'll point them out. So we're coming up to the next roundabout. We're going to be doing a right into the Brookfield Centre, which is where I'm going to get some fuel. Which I will turn the camera off for in a minute and then turn it back on again when we leave, because you don't really need to see me getting fuel. I'm sure those that drive know exactly what it's like getting fuel, but I'll just show you the perimeter road as we are in here. So on the left there is Marks and Spencer's. It's quite a big one, but last couple of times I've been to it, I've been quite disappointed. In fact, I've been quite disappointed with quite a few of the Marks and Spencer I've been to. I just don't think they have a very good selection for men. I mean, women must be, 3/4 of the shop, and then men and homeware and other stuff sort of takes over the other quarter, and it's just, it didn't always used to be like that. And I've got some really nice sort of polo shirts and shirts from M&S. So if anyone from Marks and Spencer is listening, get a better selection. Right, I'm going to turn off for a minute, guys, and then I'll be back. Right, we're now leaving Tesco's. Incidentally, I still haven't got any fuel because the petrol station's shut. Now, I bet you it opens at 7. Now, I'm hoping that isn't going to be the rule of thumb, otherwise I'm going to be stuck down here until 7. Because as I've said already, I am getting desperate for fuel. So if I see a petrol station that's open, regardless, I will be having to stop at it. I'm not one to usually get low on fuel, but it's one of those where obviously now I'm working closer to home, you can sort of long it out a little bit. But I was just hoping, obviously I had about 60 miles when I left home this morning, and I was just hoping that when I got down here, Tesco's was open, but shock horror, it isn't. So I know there are multiple petrol stations along the route, but I'm sort of hoping they don't all sort of take the same stance. They're 7 on a Sunday, which is a bit worrying. As I say, I might have to get myself a coffee or something, which will be horrendous because I don't really like it, but I'll have to get a drink somewhere because I won't get home. That much is for sure. There are service stations on the A10, of course, which of course is another option, but they'll be so bloody expensive. But of course, if you need to, don't you? It's my own stupid fault. Maybe I should have thought about this before I left Royston. But saying that, the Tesco's in Royston at the minute is also shut for refurb. That's not that long ago. It was bloody refurbed before, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's a separate issue. So we are now going to be coming into, this is Turnford, and then you sort of wind your way into Wormley, and then obviously Broxton, where we used to live. And I'm hoping, as I say, one of the petrol stations I come past is going to be open. Even if I have to put just a little tickle in for now, better than nothing. So just a few other points of reference. This next road on the left hand side was my first stop for my evening standards back in the day, up there, Huntingdon Close. Station that hopefully, what side am I on? On that side here, just forget. Is he? They are open. That's excellent. So I'm getting a bit desperate. Right, I'll just switch off, guys. Okay, sorry, so now we're in Wormley. Change this camera a little bit, there we go. We're in Wormley now. Used to go to that, well, it's not even a pub anymore, but it used to be a pub from college, which is just up the road. That is the sad thing about down here, sort of one town area just mixes into the next. We're now moving into Broxbourne. You may have just seen the sign on the camera. and you wouldn't know. It's only because you can see the sign. If I hadn't noticed the sign, I wouldn't have known where the boundary was. And that's a shame around here that just one area is the same as the next, really. There's a petrol station coming up on the right, now a Shell. It used to be a Fina. Those of you that are old enough to remember that, then Fina are now Total, I think. I used to work there. It's completely different to what it was when I was there. Always had all that land because there used to be a garage out the back. But anyway, yeah. So my next step is to at this next roundabout coming up. It's called Bell Lane, and I'm going to go up there, heading towards Broxbourne Woods. Now, if you'd have watched the Broxbourne vlog, you'd have seen a little bit of Broxbourne Woods, but I'm going to see, providing I can, get the drone up in the air. Now, the reason I'm hesitant is because I haven't looked if there's any no-fly zones around here, and until I get my phone on, I'm not going to know. I wouldn't think there are any no-fly zones around here, although we are sort of in the flight path at a distance from Stansted and Luton to a degree, I think. I don't think it really affects around here. Anyway, I'll soon know, and if I can't, I won't. If I can, I will. But yeah, these are where sort of the bigger houses were. If you remember, if you have seen the Broxbourne vlog, you'd have remembered I said there were some bigger houses sort of, you know, off the high road. Well, there, you know, you saw some of the bigger houses. There are more. If I've got time, I will show you as we're here, and obviously I've got the camera rolling. Right, so we're now arriving at Broxbourne Woods. It is good, there is no one up here. Always useful. The guy on the petrol station laughed and said, "Is this an early start for you?" I sort of laughed and said, "Yeah, well, they were saying that. I'm normally up at this time anyway. Just wouldn't have been driving for all this distance already." So yeah, but I'm going to try and find somewhere where I could actually take the drone off without any trees, which is pretty useful here. I might even do it over that bench, actually. It might be quite nice. Just got to be careful because we've got Azra in the car. Guys, I'm just going to turn the camera off for a minute. I'm going to have a play with the drone, see what's what, and you'll see the footage after, and then we'll reconnect up in a bit. Thanks, guys. Okay, so we've just done a little bit of drone. We've just done a bit of drone flying up at Broxbourne Woods. We're now going to go to our final stop, which is going to be down at the old mill. Now, I don't know what it's going to be like down there from the point of view of flying the drone. If there is some good footage, you'll see it. If I don't get any, you obviously won't. But I'm telling you about it because obviously it's a little bit of fun this morning, doing this sort of walkabout, bit of driving about, and what have you. So I'm going to show you some more big houses. I always worry about that bloody height on that thing. I know it's probably more than fine, but... So we are back on Bell Lane. Obviously we're not going to go to the bottom because we don't need to, but obviously that will take you back to Broxbourne. This end of Broxbourne anyway, I suppose. So we're going to do a left at the roundabout in a minute, which takes us into Bars Lane. Now again, going back even further than when I did paper rounds, although I probably did do paper rounds at the time as well, used to help on a milk float. Those that know what a milk float is. Used to deliver milk all along here. Seeing a few more people now out with their dogs. Ashra saw that right at the last minute, as you can hear. Normally she'd be woofing. I was quite surprised. I tried to give her some water back at where Broxbourne Woods, but she just wouldn't have it. So we're going to go up this road here quickly. It's called Carnaby Road. Now I'm coming up here because there are some massive houses up here, and I hope the camera will pick it up because they are huge. And I'll give you an idea of Ray Clements, obviously no longer with us, but he used to live in the house on the right there. He used to deliver milk there. I think it was that one actually. But there are some massive houses up here. I think a couple of Tottenham players used to live up here. I'm going back a few years now, to be fair. And Ozzy Ideas, he used to live on the right hand side here. I think maybe where that white Duke is. I'm trying to see it actually, because it's again a long time since I've been up here. Yeah, I think it was that house there. He used to live in there. Whether he still does, I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so in this St. Duke, but anywho. But yeah, I thought I'd just bring you up here because there are some massive, and every house up here is massive, and probably £1 million plus houses. It's quite extraordinary. It's a lovely road. I don't know where people have the money from nowadays, to be honest with you, to sort of have houses like this. Obviously got very good jobs. Okay, so we're going to do a left back onto Bars Lane, and then we are going to go down, I think it's called Park Lane, this next one. There's a sign opposite, thank God, to just help me along. Yes, Park Lane. Again, used to deliver milk all around here. I'm going to do excuse me, is do a right and then a left. That'll take us into Mill Lane. So this is the high road. And again, if you watch the Broxbourne vlog, you'll know we are now this pub here, the White Bear, used to be called the Anna Cleves. And we came out here. So we're going to go drop down here. This is, as I say, Mill Lane. I'm going over the little bridge, over the New River. And then we're going to drop down here. Now I need to see what these parking restrictions are. Well, I'm certainly not going to be paying to park, so we're going to turn around. We're going to go up to the top where I know I can park by the church, because with these bloody car parks now, it's not worrying about people, it's worrying about cameras. And it said it was £100 fine if you didn't pay. And I think that's outrageous that they're now charging people to park down there. Again, that's more council, isn't it? Council, whatever you want to call it. I think that's terrible, to be honest with you, because that's a nice little place. So we're going to come in here. Again, I'm hoping I don't piss anyone off, excuse my French, by taking the drone off from here, because I'm right by the vicarage, but it is only the vicarage, to be honest with you. There's a few other residential houses, but once it's up, it doesn't really cause any problems. No a 360, he'll only be up for probably about 2 minutes. Right guys, so I've got some really cool footage of the local area with the drone, which I'm quite pleased about. I think I probably got a better view from where I parked than where I would have parked it. I think it would just be nicer to have been down there, because you'd sort of been closer to sort of the old mill where the rivers are and everything, but with a drone. I had to do a quick conversion because for some reason the drone seems to have converted itself back to meters and not feet. And obviously those that know about drones will know that a drone can only go to, legally, not it can go a lot higher, but legally it can only go to 120 meters or 400 feet. Anyway, for whatever reason the drone had converted back to meters, and I couldn't work out where the setting was, and I was also on a bit of a tight time schedule to convert it back, so I had to just do a quick conversion on Google just to make doubly sure I was being legal, because that's obviously, don't want any grief from that point of view. Anyway, those that know will know 400 feet is just less than 120 meters, so I was more than legal anyway where the drone was set anyway. But best to be safe than sorry. Obviously, you know, I've done all my drone licenses and everything else, so you know, I do sort of take it quite seriously, and obviously I wouldn't want to get into any grief with any authorities with it. And then, of course, if God forbid you lost it and they could work out for whatever reason where it was, and its height and all that sort of stuff, you'd be in trouble as well. So just a bit of information. I've sort of almost gone past it now because I've been waffling on about drones, but that was the Broxbourne Parade of shops. Not an awful lot there now. There wasn't an awful lot there when I was lived down here, but that is where it is. Ashra, I've seen another dog. So we're now moving from Broxbourne into Hoddesdon, and it amuses me this because because this started off as a walk around Cheshunt, and it's turning into a bit of a drive around, which is a bit of fun. You know, I'm quite enjoying it. You know, this whole area is sort of where I grew up, so sort of things that have interest I point out. On the right here, where you can see the sign, you won't actually see it, but that used to be Hoddesdon Open Air Swimming Pool, or the spinning wheel. Obviously it's all gone now, but it used to be like a Lido, essentially, open air and what have you. Although I'm not sure, there's a police station on the left hand side now. I'm not sure that's a definition of Lido. I'd need to look that up, because Broxbourne Lido used to be Broxbourne Lido, but it was indoors, so I'm not sure that's a definition. Anyway, that particular pool was Hoddesdon Open Air, and it used to be very, very busy in the summer on a really, really hot day. The pool wasn't massively big from memory. Only went there a few times. So we're now into Hoddesdon. I'll drive through there. We've got time. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to come out, but we'll give this a go. So you got sort of the normal places: banks, estate agents, eateries on both sides here. Just making sure it wasn't one-way system. It didn't used to be. No. Now I'm sure I can probably go down there because the posts are up, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to go this way. I just thought I'd give sort of a quick look. Although I could have, because that geezer has just done it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not that bothered. There's a Tesco down there. Tesco, I think I saw. There's a massive Sainsbury's here. Never knew there was a Tesco's down there. Anyway, so we're coming back now to the sort of the high road, where this will take us up to the A10, and then obviously coming onto the A10, it's either north to go towards Cambridge or south back to London. So obviously we're going to be going towards Cambridge. Station there on the left hand side, and then as I say, we're going to go straight across this roundabout onto the dual carriageway up to the A10, and then obviously homeward bound. So I'll keep the camera rolling just until we get to the A10 or onto the A10, so you just get sort of an idea. I hope you've enjoyed it today, guys. I might hit the record a couple more times on the way home. I'll see how we go. But if I don't, I hope you've enjoyed it today. I'm not sure it's been one of my best ones, because although I'd planned to do what I did first, obviously everything else was a little bit more spontaneous, which is all, I actually think, quite good fun actually. Sort of having a little bit of spontaneousness to it. I know when we go to Centre Parks a week tomorrow, obviously there will be some uniform to it, because we've obviously pre-planned some of the stuff we're doing and what have you, but sort of, just go for walks. We'll have the dogs with us as well, go for walks and be a little bit spontaneous as to what we're doing. That'll be quite nice. I've had a look at the weather, the long range weather, and it's looking a bit ominous, which is always a worry, considering the weather we've had recently. Was that Newmarket yesterday, and got a bit of sunburn actually. It's flipping hot, and we were sitting in the sun most of the day. I say most of the day, certainly the beginning of the day.
do a bit more research, but I can never think when I've been there seeing anything that's that historical. But apparently there's a museum and tourist information there. So that's something learned. I've been past that sign God knows how many times over the years and never knew it. So alright guys, I'm going to switch off for now. We'll catch up when I get to Royston, and then we'll wrap the vlog up. Bit of rain in the air, isn't it, Ezra? Bit of rain in the air. We're not going to go an awful lot further. Right guys, welcome back. We are now just about a quarter of a mile outside Royston. Traffic has been very kind all the way home. Got some geezer in a BMW who thought it was quite amusing to sort of practically sit on my tailgate the whole way home. I don't know what it is about BMW drivers, and I hope I'm not offending anyone, but it always seems to be BMW drivers that seem to be the ones that carry on like this. I don't know why they do it. Anyway, I teed him off even more because I kept him going at the speed limit, and he just was getting more and more angry. Anyway, I don't care. I'm doing the right thing going at the speed limit, so don't care what other people think. So, we are now in Royston. We just came past the hospital. I'm sorry I was waffling on about BMW drivers, which unfortunately really do wind me up at times. Dead in front, that is a new Thai restaurant. Haven't been in there. It used to be one of Royston's many pubs. Had a joint hen and stag do there many years ago. India Lounge on the right, Green Man on the right, Tesco's Express on the left. This is obviously the one-way system heading round to the left. We are heading towards obviously Melbourne and Cambridge beyond. You can see the signs there. Come up to this roundabout. This is sort of like almost feels like a central place in Royston. You've got the park on the left-hand side there. It used to be where the cinema was. There is talk about the cinema reopening there in the town hall. Seats weren't all that comfortable, which is another reason why I don't think it did that well, and they were always a bit behind with the films as well, which I get as well. They're never going to be up to date 100%. In case it does cut out, guys, because the battery is getting quite low, thank you very much for watching. If you've got this far into the vlog, hopefully you have. As you've just seen another dog going past the local convent on the left there, the white building. Royston Football Club down there on the right hand side. That was James's first ever school there. Yeah, it's again, most of Royston is all sort of, you know, residential. Again, I've been up here since 2001, moved in with mum and dad. House back there, funnily enough, it was off the road, so I couldn't show you anyway. And then Julie and I moved up to the Twigden estate, which we're coming up to on the right hand side. We moved into a nice little flat there. It was perfect for us, you know, just two of us. Obviously, when James came along in his early years, where he wasn't sort of so mobile as babies and toddlers, certainly babies are not. But then when he started sort of moving around, you know, we realised very quickly that we had to find a house with a garden, and obviously we moved up to Melbourne. But the flat was great, and we made a, you know, decent profit on it, because, you know, house prices got up in the 10 years we were there, so we were quite lucky from that point of view. So I suppose it's all relative, isn't it, what you make on places and what have you. So it's like our house now has gone up as well, but again, it's all relative, because the next house you buy will have gone up as well. So it is what it is from that point of view. This BMW driver is still behind me. He's been behind me since Buntingford. So let's see if I've got a problem, because not many people will be coming into Melbourne at this time of the morning, I wouldn't have thought. Anyway, I haven't done anything wrong anyway. So yeah, we're down between Royston and Melbourne. I'm going to keep the camera rolling until we practically get home. Guys, I've really enjoyed doing this today. As I say, the spontaneousness of it has been great. I've really enjoyed, you know, memory lane drive walks. Not sure when the next one will be and what we'll do. Just sort of depends on how the wind flows, I suppose. Okay, so we are now coming into Melbourne, district of South Cambridgeshire. Well, that still comes under Royston apparently. You worked that out. Now we've done this drive in a short before. Obviously this is all going to get connected up to the one big vlog, which I think if that camera is running out of battery, that's going to be over an hour. So I hope you stick with it, guys, because it's really been really good. And even if you just turn the volume down and don't listen to me droning on, I think it's pretty good to see the sights. I think Ashra's had quite good fun. She's had a decent walk. I got her out of the car. She saw the geese in Broxbourne, which you'll see later on as well. So yeah, it's been. I've really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy getting up at the time I did to go. But in the summer, when you've got the light in the morning, to avoid people, which you all know I like to do when I do these, it's good to come out at the time I did. But to be fair, we were so shattered after yesterday going to Newmarket races, and the heat just knocked us out. I think we were in bed by about 9 o'clock, and then I was awake. We got woken up. If you haven't heard already, a ship hit the Brooklyn Bridge overnight, and my phone went nuts in my pocket with a couple of the news sort of channels I follow, and it woke me up. And then I sort of turned on the news to watch it on one of the American channels, and of course it's all over the American channels, isn't it, as you would expect. And I couldn't really go back to sleep, and I could see it was getting lighter, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And I'm pleased, as I say, I'm pleased I have. All of what you're seeing here, really, you've seen already anyway. So I'm not really giving you any running commentary about where we are, more about me moaning, which, as I say, and I try not to when I'm doing these vlogs, because I quite enjoy doing them. But there's always something, isn't there? Right, we're going to turn right up here. And this is where, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, tell your friends and family, and we'll catch up soon.